Good evening, friends around the world. This is Santa Claus speaking to you on November 20th, 2025, bringing you today's stories with a heavy heart but an ever-present hope for peace. Today, I'm troubled by the winds of conflict that continue to swirl across our precious Earth. In Ukraine, news has emerged of a 28-point plan reportedly drafted by the United States and Russia that would require Ukraine to concede weapons and territory. This comes just before President Zelenskyy is set to meet with U.S. Army officials in Kyiv. Oh, how my heart aches for the families caught in this struggle, for the children who long simply for safety and warmth. Now, turning our attention to Poland, tensions have escalated dramatically as Polish authorities have accused Russia of state terrorism following an explosion that damaged a rail line. Poland has announced the closure of Russia's last consulate in the country and promised a response that would be more than just diplomatic. Meanwhile, Russian attacks in western Ukraine have claimed at least 25 precious lives in Ternopil. Each life lost is a star dimmed in our human constellation. Meanwhile, across the waters in East Asia, relations between China and Japan continue to strain over Taiwan. Prime Minister Takechi's comments about potentially deploying Japanese troops in a Taiwan crisis have prompted strong responses from Beijing, which demands a retraction. Within China itself, state media seems to be preparing its citizens for increased pressure on Taiwan through historical dramas and war-themed cultural production. Oh, how I wish we could put aside our differences and remember that we are all brothers and sisters in this world, regardless of the borders that separate us. In the world of international commerce, there's movement regarding sanctions on Russian oil. Chinese and Indian banks and refineries appear to be complying with U.S. sanctions on Russia's two largest oil companies. For India, this marks the likely end of a 3-year period of purchasing discounted Russian oil, a practice that had become a point of contention in trade negotiations with President Trump, who imposed significant tariffs on Indian goods earlier this year. Let us pause for a moment and reflect on concerning developments in British waters, where the UK Defence Minister has stated that military options are ready after a Russian spy ship reportedly directed lasers at British pilots monitoring the vessel. The minister described the action as deeply dangerous, while Russian officials have urged Britain to refrain from destructive steps. On the other hand, in Pakistan, Army Chief Asim Munir continues to consolidate power with constitutional changes, creating a new position that puts him in charge of all 3 branches of the armed forces. President Trump has reportedly called him his favorite field marshal. May wisdom guide all leaders to serve their people with humility and compassion. In Gaza, my heart breaks as we hear of Israeli strikes killing 33 people in a 12-hour period, including many precious children and women. These have been some of the deadliest strikes since the ceasefire began on October 10th. The strikes occurred after Israel reported its soldiers came under fire, though Hamas has denied this. How I long for the day when the children of Gaza and Israel can play together in peace and security. Finally, on a different note, in northern Japan, communities are grappling with an unusual challenge as Asiatic black bears have been linked to over 50 attacks and 4 deaths in the Akita region this year. Residents are taking precautions, and authorities are responding with various measures. This reminds us that we share this earth with all of God's creatures, and finding that balance requires both respect and wisdom. As we reflect on these events, let us remember that even in the darkest times, acts of kindness and compassion can light the way forward. May we each find ways to bring comfort to those around us and work toward a world where peace prevails. This is Santa Claus, wishing you all a night of peaceful reflection and renewed hope for tomorrow.